Hello everyone and welcome to another Cardconomist video. It's me, Mr. Cardconomist. My real name's Derek. We go live every day for our Pokemon card live stream, and that's what I thought I'd be doing today, but instead I get to respond to Pokerev'S public message on Mr. Opossum Bud's negative video where he says Pokerev has a right to everyone's content. All he has to do is educate, and this is education. Whoa! That's educational apparently, guys. That's educational. So let's talk about what's going on. We've got some Pokemon drama. I know there's probably going to be a decent number of clicks because you guys love drama. And I won't lie, I love drama as well. I didn't expect to be in this drama. What happened was it like 3 days ago, Pokerev posts a piece of content. It's a compilation style video where he takes content from a bunch of other people who actually made the content, puts it into his video. He's going to make a couple $100s off of that probably right away and maybe a lot more over time. And what he does is he fails to give the content creators credit for their videos. It's really weird, especially for Pokemon cards. In my opinion, Pokemon cards are a certain kind of content where if you pull something that has bragging rights attached to it, you ought to be known for the person to have pulled it. That's just, that's the nature of Pokemon cards. And that's not true for all kinds of styles of content, forms of content, but for Pokemon cards, it's true. So let's talk a little bit about it. Let's talk about the dispute. Mr. Pokerev uploads not one, but actually 2 of my videos. Never asked me about it, never contacted me, just assumed I'd love for him to take it. And he never puts my name next to the content. That's very standard, by the way. Watch Mojo just made content using my stuff, and they put my name next to it. That's what you're supposed to do. That's very normal. Not only is it normal, it's smart. Okay, so Pokerev, he's a smart guy, right? You're smart, Pokerev. So the smart guys always put the name of the person's content they're using next to that content, because if you don't, they're going to come after you. Which is really funny because I believe Pokerev is now going to do that from now on. Thanks to me, you guys are welcome. So in the future, when Pokerev decides he's going to enrich himself on your Pokemon card pulls, on your special moments, and the things that you spent money on that allowed you to pull those cards, he can't just take the content for himself. Now he's going to show your name on the screen. How nice is that? Yay! How nice. It's wonderful. But let's talk about why I have my position on the subject and why you should agree with me. Mr. Possum Bud made a very disparaging video about me, about how, I'm a narcissist and, I'm asking far too much. And actually, Pokerev should be allowed to use my content because it's fair use. Let me take that all apart, by the way. So first of all, a lot of Pokemon card creators are going to be narcissists. That's just going to be the word everybody uses for them. The nature of making videos, by the way, is to draw attention to yourself. So anyone you don't like who is making content, Pokemon cards or otherwise, actually, you could call them a narcissist. You could call Pokerev a narcissist. It's possible to do that. If he did something that you really didn't like and he was getting lots of attention for it, you could call him a narcissist, right? So that's the nature of making content, is to draw attention to yourself. So calling one YouTuber calling another YouTuber a narcissist is very ironic, because you say that while drawing attention to yourself, actually, Mr. Possum Bud. The next subject, the subject of fair use. What's fair use? So I've had to deal with fair use myself. If you guys didn't know this, I ran a much larger YouTube channel called TheCardconomist, 130,000 subs. I don't remember how many millions of views we were getting a month. It was some ridiculous amount. It was a fast-growing channel. I gave that all up, by the way, to work on Pokemon instead. So this Pokemon channel is my other channel. And so over there, we dealt with fair use. And fair use is pretty clear. So it does need to actually be educational, kind of like teaching math or teaching the powerhouse of the cell. It does actually need to be a form of content where you've deeply transformed it. That's what so in legal cases on the subject, they're looking to see if you've transformed the subject. Hear me out. The whole point of the Dragonite video is to look at the beautiful pulls, be excited by them, and go, whoa! So when Pokerev looks at my pulls and goes, he has not actually transformed anything. It's the same video, except now it's with his face next to it. And so basically, you've taken my entertainment video, that's what it is, and you've turned it into your entertainment video, and you're going to make money off of that. That's fine. That's not the thing I'm complaining about. All I want is my name next to the video. And basically, I believe that is the standard for making compilations. It's not an exception. This isn't me asking for some special handout from Pokerev. Oh, please, Pokerev. It's not that. This is the standard for how you take other people's content without asking first. You just put their name next to it. It's not complicated, is it? It's very easy, actually. The irony about this subject is I truly thought that it was just some accident. I did. I thought that maybe it was an accident. Because when I would use other people's content on TheCardconomist, we just put their name. It's a little thing, just like Watch Mojo does. It's very simple. It takes about 2 seconds, by the way. Because normally what you have is you have this, computer got turned off. You have this. So in your editor, you have like a text asset for people who you're giving credit to. You might call the text asset credits, and then you just write the person's name down. Boom, done. It could last for like a half second, maybe a full second, and so it's done very, very quickly. I now believe it was not a matter of oops. He actually doesn't like to put people's names on the screen. What's up with that, Mr. Pokerev? You don't like to put other people's name on the screen when it's their content? Does that upset you? Why does that bother you so much? Because when Pokerev and I were talking, because I didn't immediately strike his content. YouTube gave me that option. I chose not to. I said, no, I don't want to fight with Pokerev. This is great. We're in a compilation video. But I just wanted the name next to the video, right? That's proper. That's normal. That's respect. And I thought maybe he just didn't have time or he was distracted or busy. He actually doesn't like to put people's names next to their videos. What is up with that? That's not normal. That actually does kind of sound like narcissism. Maybe he's worried people will actually learn about other YouTubers. I don't know what his argument is. But I would love to know why he's so opposed to it. That he didn't talk about. He did not talk about why he's opposed to putting names next to people's videos. But I want to move on to another subject. I want to talk about how I'm actually good for the Pokemon community on this subject. Because when Opossum put out his video, I got a ton of people saying some truly dirty, vitriolic things, very inappropriate. They didn't just come after me. They came after regular people in the Pokemon card community who just maybe watched my content, calling them creepy and all kinds of mean things. So, I don't make videos like that. I don't make negativity videos. It's not my style. And but that is perhaps is his style to be exceedingly negative. And they came in and said, you're terrible for the Pokemon community. I'll tell you why I'm great for the Pokemon card community. Because here we have a guy, Pokerev. He's most likely a multi-millionaire. Most likely. Pokerev, prove me wrong that you're not a multi-millionaire. You probably are. Social Blade suggests he makes close to probably $500,000 per year just in ad revenue. That doesn't count merchandise. Doesn't count Pokemon card sales. It doesn't count gifts and donations and other benefits of being socially well known. So it doesn't talk about his total income, but he's probably a multimillionaire and he's probably making about $500,000 a year. Okay, so here's a guy who's truly wealthy and he's in the top 1% of the 1% or whatever Bernie Sanders normally says, the top 1%. Here's a guy who's genuinely wealthy in a position of power. And you guys have been, I'm talking to you now, the audience, you guys have been convinced that the richest guy with the Pokemon cards should go around having access to everyone else's content, not have to credit them, but also get to monetize it. How does that add up as being good for the Pokemon card community? In my opinion, this little struggle I've put up will force Pokerev to start putting names in the videos from now on. And I'm pretty confident about that because I don't think he wants to run into this problem frequently. So he will start doing the standard thing, which is to put the name next to the video. Again, this is not some special request for Mr. Cardconomist because he's a narcissist. He just can't get over it. He's on a power trip. No, it's quite a special video, isn't it? The only video of a no Hollow Dragonite error pull with the Charizard come out of the same pack. That's actually quite special, right? So this isn't meaningless B-roll footage. It's a special moment. So in the future, when you guys have special moments, he's going to put your name next to content. And if he doesn't, you need to get out there and tell him, put my name next to it or I'll content strike you. Because that's yours, man. And you do have to stand up for yourself. You don't owe this guy anything. He makes millions of dollars. You don't owe him anything. And he's going to make money off you too without asking. Hey, and for him, it's gratuitous for you to want to be in the video with your name next to your own content. That's gratuitous. So I think that the whole thing's exceedingly quite poor, disrespectful, improper, and it really, what surprises me is that Pokerev actually came out publicly to defend himself. So I think at first a lot of people are going to rush to his side and be like, Pokerev's right, Pokerev's right, Pokerev's right. But in general, your average viewer, you guys have special moments too. And one day he might decide, let's go ahead and take these other videos and I'll make money off of it and be the millionaire. And you guys can be the unknowns because I don't like to put people's names on a screen. I don't find that appropriate. I don't think you guys should find that appropriate. I do find that similar to content theft. I mean, what else do you call it? There's a word called content theft. When does it apply? Does it not apply in this one scenario? Because this seems like the definition of it. But yeah, I'm sorry to perhaps say something negative about somebody you truly like, because I have no doubt that Mr. Pokerev's a lot of fun. I think this was a mistake. I think he will, again, I think that he will likely change so that he doesn't run into this scenario again. It's just unfortunate that I have to be the one to stand up to this, because once you stand up to some sort of issue like this, everyone dogpiles you. You know, obviously, if he's got like 2 million subscribers, they're going to come after me. And I don't have that many subscribers, so they're not going to be enough people to defend me. There's going to be tons of social pressure. Social pressure doesn't work on me. I had a tough childhood. I came out that way. I came out where social pressure doesn't affect me as much. So that's the whole dispute. Here's a rich guy running around grabbing everyone's content. He doesn't even do the editing. Somebody else does. So somebody else just assembles this video for him. He goes, whoa! He'll make hundreds of dollars on that. Can't be bothered to put your name next to your own content. I do find that wrong. I find it disrespectful. I think that all small content creators should have their name next to their content. I know there's going to be people sucking, Pokerev'S toast saying, no, it doesn't bother me. But the truth is, if you could be polled anonymously, you would prefer to have your name next to your own video. You fundamentally understand that that's much better for you and is appropriate. And in the future, I think that that's what we're going to see. Now, what do you guys think about that? You think I'm a terrible person? Mr. Cardconomist, how dare you ask for your name next to your content? Don't you know it belongs to somebody else? And again, I want to point out, I didn't immediately strike. I set up a copyright strike with a countdown timer that said, well, basically, we'd like to have our credit next to the video. Very fair. Nothing about that should be shamed. You guys should encourage it. If other people are taking your Pokemon card content, you should ask for proper credit. I do believe in sharing content, compilation, all that stuff. Totally cool, totally fine. Anytime somebody borrows your content, be sure to ask for proper content. Don't be ashamed to ask for acknowledgement for what's yours. Specifically, when it's not just B-roll footage, it's actually really special video. And that's what this was. Now we'll go in, we'll take a look at the comment. So let's see. Where were we? It was one of these videos. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I wasn't even going to make this video, but then Pokerev'S spoke out publicly. He says, well said, Opossum. Appreciate your opinion. We always link every creator's video in the description. Who cares, Pokerev? How long have you been making videos? Do you not have the analytical tools to see the click rate on the description? So for those of you who are watching, there are softwares you can subscribe to or purchase outright that allow you to see the click rate through for the description. I've purchased that software because I was a content creator for like 9 years. No one clicks on the description. So he makes it sound like a big deal that he's added people's links to the description. By the way, when you look at those links, it's a terrible jumble. You still don't know the names of anyone. You have to click on each link to get the name of each person. What an absolutely atrocious way to credit people. It's not enough. Okay, again, this is you making hundreds of dollars on other people's content. The very, very least you could do is appropriately credit them. And I'm sorry that it has to come into this terrible conflict for you to realize this, but this is just standard. He says, this time it slipped up. So what is he talking about, slipped up? What he means is when the video was initially posted, and Opossum didn't talk about this, when it was initially posted, he didn't credit at all. There was no credit at all. There was no name on the screen, that's the standard. He didn't even have anything in the description. So it's obvious to me this is not a serious deal for them. They don't care that much about it. They do now. You're welcome. He says, I genuinely love shouting out smaller channels. I always have from day one. Yeah. So you've done a good thing in the past. That means the bad thing you do now is acceptable. I get that. That's precisely what somebody would say. Before we started this React series a few weeks ago. Okay, so that's actually meaningful. Maybe he's just now starting to compile other people's content. So maybe it's the case, I don't know if this is true, Pokerev. Maybe it's the case that he hasn't done a lot of these compilations in the past. So maybe this is like growing pains, essentially. You've never ran into a scenario where you took someone's content and then got copyright struck on it. I have done that. I know what it's like to make content and not properly credit someone. They immediately copyright strike. Very normal thing, and you do have to properly copyright them. I didn't even mean to do it when I did it, but they copyright struck me. They didn't give me a chance to respond. If they just said, we want credit, I would have done it. For me, the funny thing is mine was actually educational. I was teaching people something about a video game, and I took a moment from another video, boom, copyright strike like that. It was instant. They didn't give me 7 days. They just immediately copyright struck and said, we didn't say you could use that. So I already knew about this. He says, I go as far to rate small streamers. Oh, thank you, Pokerev. Thank you. Please take all my content. Now he's streaming, walking around saying I stole his content. So What is the case of stolen content? If not that, what is stolen content? If it's not you uploading a video for yourself to make money on, giving no one credit, uh, what is stolen content? If not that? So I think that it's great that you're defending yourself publicly, Pokerev. I think it would have been much smarter for you to just been like, hey, this was a learning moment for us. In the future, we're just going to put names next to the content. Love everybody, bye. Right? But here you are. You're definitely defending yourself over a subject that I think initially people will rush to your defense at first. I think in the long run, people in their gut will be like, oh, yeah, actually, I do want my content with my name next to it. Right? So he says he's painting me as some evil person. And that's not true. What I'm painting you as somebody who took my content without asking and then didn't want to put my name next to it. Again, I wasn't sure if you didn't want to put my name next to it. Now I know. You're somebody who doesn't like to put names next to content. So you've made that clear. My video legally falls under fair use. This does not fall under fair use. Whoa! That's not fair use. That is you not transforming the content at all, in fact. So if you've studied fair use cases like I did, they talk about how in the court you have to prove that you've transformed the content to something new. Okay? And in this case, you're just reacting to the same thing I reacted to. I do not think that it would fall under fair use. I think it would be entertainment. I really do. I think that the video is where all the value is. All right, his video was added to the description, but that wasn't enough for him. That's right. Nobody clicks on the description. So again, maybe this is something you didn't realize, Pokerev, which is really weird to think about because maybe you've never used an analytics tool to look at your description. People don't click on the description. I guess he wants me shouting his names from the rooftops. I love how that's your opinion, and you have this exaggerated concept of my opinion because you add and posting his name on the video. No, I just want my name next to the video. That's right. And there's nothing unusual about that at all. That's not a wild exception to the rule on how to use other people's content for your monetary enjoyment. That's a standard thing to do, right? That's normal. That's just normal. Again, this could be the case Pokerev never makes that kind of content, so maybe he just has not realized this yet. But if he keeps making content where he uses their content and never credits them, he's going to find out he's going to get a lot of copyright strikes. So he says, I'm happy to do that. Oh, I'm happy to do that in future reaction videos, but it sure won't be for him. All right, so there we go. This is very funny. This right here is very funny because right there, can you guys even see what I'm clicking on? Does this even show it? I don't think, hold on. I think I have to scroll up more. Hold on. Very unprofessional videos. I'm sorry. We don't make a lot of videos like this. So I'm happy to do that in the future reaction videos, but it sure won't be for him. So I get it. You're very mad at me for fighting you to get the rights to have my name next to my video that you're making money on so you can go live on as a multimillionaire. I get that. It's very frustrating for you that somebody would have to do that. But trust me, Pokerev, it is just smart, isn't it? And that's what I already learned. It is just smart. Because if I'm not the one who does it, the next guy will do it, and the next guy will do it, and the next guy will do it. It'll happen to you. So put people's names properly next to their content before you run off and make money off of their videos. And surprising that it had to come to this point where it's all public and gross and terrible and dirty laundry. But again, I feel that while there are a lot of Pokerev fans out there, you guys have to admit, here's a guy who's in a very powerful position, very influential, successful position. He's now using your content to make himself wealthier. The very least he could do is properly credit you. That's not an unusual, exceptional request by me. That's very normal. And it's sad also that you guys are so fast to come after me for saying, don't steal my content. Because one of the big problems in the Pokemon community these days, there's a ton of theft of actual Pokemon cards, chargeback fraud, all this wild stuff, house break-ins, Pokemon shop break-ins, all this terrible stuff. And then on top of that, Mr. Pokerev would like to use my videos for money, but he would hate to put my name next to my video. So that is, to me, content theft. What you ought to do is just apologize and be like, you know what? I didn't realize it was like content theft because I'm not standing in your shoes. I don't know what it feels like. That would have actually been very clever emotionally. It would have been like an emotional intelligence thing. But no, I'm not surprised that it turns out he actually just does not like to put people's names next to their videos. That does not surprise me. Well, maybe it does surprise me because I actually think I spent like 4 years saying nice things about Pokerev. I think that he's got a great channel. He's got a great audience. I love the Pokemon card community. I really do. Um, I thought, I simply assumed he would have been nice to have done it anyways. And when it was obvious that he didn't, I also assumed he would have been nice and been like, oh, my bad, bro. Let me go fix that. Apparently, this is a big deal for him, and no, he will not do it. And because he's so scornfully angry that I brought it up to his attention, now he'll never post my videos again. So there you go. I think that that's actually a terrible personality to show off to people. I don't think that is very loving at all. What's best for the Pokemon card community is for small creators to have their names next to their content. And feel free to be as upset about me as you want, guys. In the comment section, share your thoughts. Bro, you're blowing this out of proportion. He just said in that comment, in the future, you guys will be properly credited. You're welcome, by the way. So that's probably thanks to me, because I doubt he would have done it without this controversy occurring. That's my opinion. He probably would have kept going on without giving proper credits, and you would have missed out on all of the exposure that you deserve, because it's your content and you shouldn't be ashamed to ask for proper credit on your content. All right, now say any negative thing you want. See you guys later.